Yeah, I'm gonna go through a couple stories here real quick in this article, just for the awareness piece. Get your guys' thoughts on that, and then we'll wrap it up. So stick with us here. So it goes on to say that in addition to the shortcomings in Lyco's studies, FDA panelists voiced concerns. FDA panelists voiced concerns about separate allegations that some MAPS-affiliated researchers suppressed negative study results or coached patients to inflate positive results. The FDA says that it's investigating those claims. Casey Tylick, an Army veteran, says he didn't experience any of that while participating in the study. When he asked researchers for guidance in evaluating the effect of the drug, Tylick says he was repeatedly rebuffed and told he had to rate the treatment without any outside influence. Tylick says he was pessimistic going into the trial, but credits MDMA assisted therapy with resolving. That's a big word when you're talking about PTSD symptoms. Resolving anger, anxiety, and trauma stemming from a rocket attack in Iraq. It basically rewrote that memory in my mind and how it functioned, Tylick said. I was able to just kind of let it go and not be hung up on it. Cudler and other researchers say that they want to see the MDMA results confirmed in larger studies that have no links to psychedelic community. That work would take years. Veterans who support the treatment say it would jeopardize patients suffering from PTSD who have been helped by antidepressants, who have not been helped by antidepressants and other existing therapies. The suicide rate among veterans is 70% higher than the general population, according to the government figures, with an 18 veteran suicides per day in 2021. And obviously that's why we're talking about this, right? Is that therapies to help with any sort of distress with regard to PTSD is a really, really important thing. Moving on to the next one here, John Lebecki, who served in both the Marines and the Army, says he tried to kill himself 5 times after returning from deployment to Iraq in 2006. After years of struggling with PTSD, he enrolled in a MAPS trial in 2014. That's a long time ago. He credits MDMA assisted therapy with curing his condition. Curing. That is, again, I mean, when you're talking about words like this in the context of PTSD, it's almost unbelievable unless you hear it from somebody, right? So not helps me manage with, help me deal. No, cured. Big deal. Since then, Lebecki has told his story hundreds of times in media interviews, congressional hearings, and private meetings with military officials and federal lawmakers, including conservatives like Senator Rand Paul and Dan Crenshaw. Lebecki worked as a consultant for MAPS for more than 5 years, but he rejects the idea that he was merely advancing the agenda of psychedelic boosters who want to see the drugs outright legalized. I'm not in this for ending the drug war or any of those other things, he said. I'm in it for my friends. Wow. That was almost emotional at the end. So, and I'm a softie sometimes, so well, there is that. With that, I'm going to end the article piece there. I loved being able to share those couple stories from folks because, look, if there's success stories, it should be looked at. Is it going to be a success for everybody? Probably not. But if it's a success for a few, that's a few more that can get on with their lives, and that's a good thing. Randy, your thoughts?
Yeah. Look, if it works for them, it works for them. Like I mentioned earlier in this segment, I tend to lean, not be all the way into the libertarian camp, but I tend to lean a little bit more that way. So I tend to support people's freedoms to explore things that work in their life within reason. I'm really happy, for Lebecki and, Tylick. Sounds like that they were able to get some relief or a cure in certain circumstances. for what was going on with them. So I'm happy. I think it's a good thing, and I think we need to be open and learn more about this. So, it's kind of a vanilla position from me. I'm not all the way in, all the way out. I just tend to support people's freedoms, and I support novel ideas, when people want to try new things. So that's me, Chris. I'll throw it over to you for your thoughts.
Yeah, again, I think that we have, especially those who grew up in the 80s, we have a tendency to flash back to LSD and PCP and people jumping off of buildings because they think they could fly. And I think the science and the rigor around these things have come a long way. And that said, there's downsides. There's got to be some element of addiction and some element. So, but I believe and put my faith in the medical profession. They're closest to the soldiers to determine what is the right solution for their particular ailment, and just pray that the right things get to the right people. And I don't think that we should just shut them off because of any other biases. I think the world of the MDMA, solutions and drugs is a lot different than what we believed it to be back in the 80s. And so hopefully this does get to move forward, and hearing these stories about the impact it's made on some of our veterans' lives just makes me want to be a sponsor of it, even at least a sponsor of more research and looking at the efficacy of these things. Let's take the next step would be my thoughts.
Well said. I agree. Concur with both of you. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.